If you were watching the charts early last week, things felt pretty heavy.
Oh, for sure.
U.S. equities were losing steam, and crypto was dragging right along with them. But then Friday hit.
And we saw that huge rebound. It just spilled right over.
Exactly, spilled right over from stocks into the digital asset markets.
It was a serious vibe shift. And that brings us right to our source for today, the Vantage Plus Crypto Outlook that was published this Monday, February 16th.
And what's the big question they're asking?
It's pretty simple, actually. We see the support, but
Hmm.
is this a real sustained rally or just a dead cat bounce?
That is the million-dollar question. And it's interesting because, the NASDAQ is lagging the S&P 500.
Right.
But the sentiment across the board feels surprisingly bullish. So let's dive in and see if the charts back that feeling up.
Let's start with the bellwether, Bitcoin.
Of course.
Okay, so right now BTC is sitting around 69,621 US dollars.
Which is decent, but psychologically, dipping below that $70,000 line, that makes investors sweat.
It does. It feels like a safety net's been pulled away.
Yeah.
But the report argues it's not, time to panic. They've identified a specific bullish candlestick pattern.
Okay, and what is that signal telling us?
It's basically a visual cue that selling pressure is exhausting itself. So it suggests a potential move back to the upside.
All right, so if we're looking for a breakout, what are the magic numbers? What are the key levels?
The ceiling to beat is $78,000. If Bitcoin can punch through that resistance, the analysis targets a run up to $95,000.
Wow.
But this isn't happening in a vacuum.
Right, the macro environment. We can't ignore that. The report is pretty clear this rally is tied to U.S. economic data.
Specifically, the NFP, the non-farm payrolls report.
And this is where it gets a little counterintuitive for anyone new to this. We're actually looking for weaker job numbers.
Exactly. Or, falling consumer prices. That
Yep.
sounds backwards.
So bad news is good news.
For crypto, it might be. Bad economic news could force the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates.
Which turns on the liquidity tap.
And cheap money looks for a home, usually in risk assets like Bitcoin.
So we're watching the Fed as much as the charts.
Okay.
So if Bitcoin is waiting on the Fed, what's happening with Ethereum? It's trading at $2,081.
It's trying to follow Bitcoin's path, but statistically, it's the laggard here.
A laggard, how so?
Well, the report points out a worrying divergence on the monthly charts. Bitcoin is trading comfortably above its 50-month moving average.
And that's a sign of long-term health, right? The average price over 4+ years.
Right, but Ether has fallen below its 50-month average, so it's just fundamentally weaker, technically.
So what's the outlook?
The daily chart is constructive. It might be eyeing a test of $2,700.
Right.
But the floor is shaky. If it breaks below 1850, things could get ugly.
Speaking of shaky floors, let's talk about XRP. It's trading at, what, 142?
Roughly, yeah. And this chart looks like it's fighting a ghost from the past.
What do you mean?
The report highlights the $1.80 level. That number is just haunting this chart. It was massive resistance back in April 2021.
And then it acted as support.
Multiple times last year. Now that price is below it, it's a very heavy ceiling. So until it breaks back above 180, it's in the danger zone.
And what's the downside risk?
Traders are eyeing 120, and if it slices through the 50 moving average around 107, that slide could accelerate fast.
Okay, let's wrap with Solana. SOL is at 86.71. Being stuck under that $100 mark just feels bad.
It's definitely a bearish signal. Now, the falling has stopped for the moment, which is good, but the weekly chart shows a classic polarity flip.
That's where previous support turns into new resistance.
That's it. You have investors who bought at that support level, now they're trapped, and they might just sell to break even on any rally.
So SOL has a tough climb.
A very tough climb. It faces a battle at $100 and then another one at $125. The report says the real bull trend doesn't even restart until we clear $158.
Wow, so Solana really has a mountain to climb. Okay, so let's pull back. Big picture. What's the takeaway here?
I think we're at a pivot point. The positive vibes from stocks are helping, but every single major coin we've discussed, BTC, ETH, XRP, SOL, is testing a critical boundary.
We're in a holding pattern.
Exactly, waiting for that U.S. economic data to drop. It all comes back to the Fed.
It really does.
And that it leaves us with a provocative thought to end on.
Go on.
If crypto's fate is this tightly coupled to U.S. labor reports and interest rates, has it sort of lost its independence?
Or is this just what it looks like when an asset class finally grows up? Something to chew on while you watch those resistance levels. Thanks for diving in with us.